How's it going, folks? Welcome to the channel. This is an unboxing of Draco. Now Draco I've had for quite some time. We've just recently moved hangers. As you can see, it's very different around me, but we're going to be doing the filming of the unboxing and building today. So with Draco, this is the bind and fly model, as we've got on the side of the box. You can see what it comes with. So it's got the installation already done for the motor, ESC, servos, receiver, transmitter. Now all you'll need, if you can see in the fine print just here, which is a 4S battery. It can do a 4 to 6S, so as long as you have that and a charger and your radio, you're fine. So let's get into the unboxing, get this out of the box, and we'll see you in a second once she's currently out of the box. So guys, when I did move, I tried to pack it as best as possible from when I got it in from brand new. So we'll open up the box and we'll see what we get. And this has had a few things and nicks, but it's hardly really recognised the things. So if you want to come over here, this is how it's boxed. You can see there's a little bit of damage here, but that's okay. That can be fixed up with a bit of hot water. And underneath, got your fuselage, your tail section, everything in between. And this is what we're going to be putting all together today, so which is going to be fun. So once we get it out of the box, we'll get everything together, get it all in, ready to go. Shouldn't be a problem. Alright, we'll see you guys in a minute. Alright guys, so this is what we got. This is what you get straight out of the box, brand new. Now this has been filled around with the landing gear, so the bottom is a little bit damaged on the plastic, but that's okay. We've had a few nicks and dings here and there, but this is what you would get straight from the factory. So these are pre-assembled. All you have to do is put the wheels on, put the gear on, and then you'll only need glue for the slats if you choose to put them on. I'm going to, as it's a more aesthetic look and it looks more realistic to the actual plane Draco. Lot of specs with the B&F one. It's got a tail and aileron mix put into it, so when you bank the plane, the tail will turn with it, which makes it more of a tighter turning. And with the flaps, you can go up to about 45 degrees on the flaps, and that slows the plane right down. But the only thing is, it's a heavy plane, so if you're coming in low for a landing, you're trying to go as you normally would, you actually need to put a little bit of throttle into it, so it just won't slap on the ground. And it's probably better to land these on 3 points, and what I mean by 3 points is 1, 2, 3 at the same time on the ground, as you will not bounce as much as you would landing with the front, because they're not really that forgiving in the suspension components down here. So what is probably best to start off with is putting the gear on at the bottom and then sorting out the wings last. So we'll get that done now for you. It's just quite a simple task, quite easy. And it's just 4 bolts underneath, and then you've just got to put the wheels on. So we'll be right back once we've got the wheels on, and then I'll go through more details on it.
Good.
Alright guys, so we've got the main gear assembly put together, which is just your 4 bolts. This is how it will come. The shocks are very stiff, but you can definitely get upgrade components for this where it actually sits an oil shock, so it'll land proper, which my plan is to upgrade to that, as it'll be a lot smoother flying and also landing. So that's my plans for Draco, to just get an oil shock that you get from an RC car and get it put on. Other things, I'll probably change it from the 4-bladed prop to maybe a large 2, as so there's not much usage on the motor itself. That'll be in the long run, and then obviously just upgrading servos here and there when they fail. But I've got 2 lock nuts on each side to hold the wheels on. That's due to rigidity of the plane, so it won't pop itself out. You can see it's just a small little size 6, but that's all the design assembly on that. We'll get the other wheel together, then we'll talk about what's going on next. We'll see you guys in a second. Alright guys, so these are the slats. They do a little bit in the air. Now I've currently got the other one sitting on with tape because I had to redesign one of the little hinges here on the other one, but it'll come good once we've done everything. So they've got these, as you can see on this side, you got the little slots all along. I'm just using today Gorilla Glue, which is this one dries white, but you can get it in clear. But I just make sure I shove it down in the creases so you don't really notice it. So we're going to currently glue this on, and then we'll get on to fitting the rear tail, which is a bit of a lengthier process. And if you do want to test the plane later, don't put the prop on until you've checked to make sure everything's running, as you don't want this to be set at full speed and then you have a plane running at you. So we'll get these glued up and ready to go for you, and then we'll get on to installing the tail section. You don't have to be too hard with these either. These are quite easy to go in and out. Takes a little bit of pressure just to get them all in, and if they tend to stick out like the other one has, which this one hasn't, I don't have to do that. You just put a little bit of the painting tape, like masking tape, you just put it over the end, not too heavy, so you just put it down a little bit so it won't peel up the paint, but they usually don't on these foam models. With the balsa aircraft, it can lift the wrapping, so be wary of that. And while they dry for the next 15 minutes, we're going to go do the tail. So let's get that done. Alright guys, so with the tail, it's already pre-assembled. With this, you don't have to do anything other than put all the extremities on. Now there's a special clipping system in here, which you bend down a little bit, push it in, it'll lock in, and then you've got your ball joints for your elevator control. So it's very quick and easy. When I did purchase it, I had to put the landing gear assembly on, but luckily with moving a lot of the old extra foam out, I didn't have to in the move. So just be aware of that. If you do buy a new Draco, you will have to put this assembly on here, which is just a few screws because it's all pretty much together. Just got to put your bottom ones in, put your springs in, and then these two here, and they bolt up all together. So let's get this in. Very simple, easy procedure. This one. It's always best to bring it up so you have more room of what you're doing. Push that, locks into place, just like so. Now it can't come back out. So the next thing to do is get your ball joint. Push that in, and with both other sides as well. Push that one in. Very nice and easy job. And boom, that's the tail for you guys. You just make sure that's all clipped in, which it is. It's going to stay stable, because that's what we want in flight, stable. So we're not going to have issues. So that's all together. You just check see if that moves, which that does. Perfect. And now it's on to putting on the propeller. Alright guys, so this is the installation of the prop. Now, I know everything works because I've bound it up to my radio before. Everything's set to a certain setting, so I'm okay to do this. But if you're starting out and you've just bought this plane, you just bought a radio for your new, if you're a new beginner, please do not put this on until you have everything set up and you make sure it's going to work properly. Because sometimes, which I've had happen to myself before, as I've got a scar on my hand here, when you are testing everything, sometimes the throttle may be even small, like on small, or the trim might be up for the electric throttle, and as you're working around things, just making sure, you can end up like myself and have a cut. So I'd highly recommend not putting it on first time checking out all the electronics with the aircraft, or not having throttle cut put onto the radio as of yet, which I use a Spectrum DX6E for this. I really want to get a 8 channel for this, so I have reverse thrust and the ability to turn the safe on and off. So that's what I'm saving up for at the moment, which is a bigger radio channel wise. So this quite simple procedure, nice and easy. You get this nut, put it on, you hand tight it first, and then I use one of these, tighten up just a nip so you don't have to over tighten it. And then with this guy, very nice and simple and easy. It's not like the other ones where sometimes you got to line them up to a certain degree, but these do go a certain way on this. Which it lines up with the center, and you've just got to push it on like so. Doesn't do any damage, and then put your screw in, which is a very simple, easy procedure. And you just tighten it up. And what I do after every flight is just make sure everything's tight, everything's doing as it should, and not loosening, as you do sometimes have issues with these. I'll just do a nip on that screw as well. So they will come loose over time, so that's why you should tighten everything up after every flight, just to make sure everything's tight. But don't over tighten them, because you will strip them, and these are plastic, and it does cost a bit on parts, so especially in Australian dollar, it costs a fair bit. So please just make sure you've got at least someone to help you, or you've got prior knowledge of doing stuff like this. But if this is your first plane and you're a child, just get your parents to give you a hand putting it together. Doesn't take long, about 15-20 minutes, and you can see here it's only taken a little bit. So now the next thing is for me is to put the wings together with the stabilizer bar, which is a little metal weight about this big, goes on, and I'll put the wings on and we'll be ready to go. So we'll see you guys in a sec once we have the wings on. So guys, we're up to putting the last wing on. Very easy install system, as you've got these little plugs that just go into these sockets in the wing, and you just got to make sure you get all that pushed in. So let's get it in, and then we can call it a day on the Draco build. And it's very simple, very easy. As I do have everything set up, I don't need to worry about all this, as it's all pre-programmed. So I'll put that in, and then we just get the plugs underneath. Just want to make sure they go all the way, and then they are a clockwise rotation on both sides to lock them in.
Beautiful.
So this is Draco and all built, ready to fly. All I got to do is now charge the battery and go for a fly. So that's it, guys, for the Draco build. And if you want to see more builds like this, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video, and don't forget to go check out our Facebook page, because we do photos and videos on there as well, and also our TikTok. Our TikTok is one of the main ones that we do. But if you're coming from TikTok, please subscribe to the channel. As we get bigger, we get more planes like this, as you can see all around me and also behind you as well. We've got a lot of planes, a lot of projects on hold at the moment, so we've got a lot more filming. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, go check out the Facebook page, and follow us on TikTok. Peace, guys. See you in the next one.